Soundproofing can be installed above 2x4 fixtures, particularly if the soundproofing material is an insulation-type product. Here's a guide to the installation process. Firstly, remove any existing insulation from the fixture. This step ensures that the soundproofing material can be properly placed and will function effectively. Secondly, cut the soundproofing material so that it fits the precise dimensions of the fixture. Accurate measurements and cuts are crucial for complete coverage and optimal sound insulation. Thirdly, carefully insert the soundproofing material into the fixture. Ensure it is snug and fills the space without being excessively compressed, which could reduce its effectiveness. Fourthly, replace the insulation that was originally removed. This layer adds further insulation and helps to secure the soundproofing material in place. There are some additional tips to enhance the soundproofing. Firstly, use a soundproofing material that is specifically designed for use in ceilings. These materials often have properties that make them more effective at reducing sound transmission in ceiling environments. Secondly, make sure that the soundproofing material is thick enough to provide adequate sound insulation. The thickness of the material directly impacts its ability to absorb sound waves, with thicker materials generally providing better insulation. Thirdly, seal any gaps around the edges of the soundproofing material using acoustic caulk. This helps to prevent sound from leaking through small openings and compromising the overall effectiveness of the soundproofing. Fourthly, if installing soundproofing in a multiple-story building, be sure to install it on all floors. This is important because sound can travel through floors and ceilings, and soundproofing only one floor may not provide the desired level of noise reduction. Selecting the right soundproofing material is important. There are various types of soundproofing materials available, each with different properties and suitability for different applications. Some common options include fiberglass insulation, mineral wool, acoustic panels, and soundproof drywall. Consider the specific needs of the space when selecting a material, such as the level of sound insulation required, the budget, and any fire resistance requirements. Proper installation techniques are needed to maximize the effectiveness of the soundproofing. Ensure the material is installed correctly and securely. This may involve using appropriate fasteners, adhesives, or other installation methods as recommended by the manufacturer. It is also important to avoid compressing the material excessively, as this can reduce its soundproofing capabilities. Addressing flanking paths are important because sound can travel through various paths in a building, including walls, floors, ceilings, and even through ductwork or pipes. Identify and address any potential flanking paths that could bypass the soundproofing material. This may involve sealing gaps or cracks, adding insulation to walls or floors, or installing soundproof barriers around ductwork or pipes. Consider the impact of soundproofing on the overall acoustics of the space. Soundproofing can reduce reverberation and echo, which can improve the clarity and intelligibility of sound. However, it is also important to avoid overdampening the space, as this can make it sound unnatural or lifeless. Consider using a combination of soundproofing and acoustic treatments to achieve the desired balance of sound control and acoustic quality. Follow any relevant building codes or regulations related to soundproofing. These codes may specify minimum sound insulation requirements for certain types of buildings or spaces. Consult with a qualified professional if needed to ensure that the soundproofing installation meets all applicable codes and regulations. Before starting the installation, gather all necessary tools and materials. This may include a utility knife, measuring tape, caulk gun, safety glasses, and gloves. Having the right tools and materials on hand will make the installation process smoother and more efficient. Take safety precautions when installing soundproofing materials. Wear appropriate protective gear, such as safety glasses and gloves, to avoid injury. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for handling and installing the materials safely. If unsure about any aspect of the installation, consult with a qualified professional. Regularly inspect the soundproofing installation to ensure that it is in good condition. Look for any signs of damage, such as tears, gaps, or loose material. Repair any damage promptly to maintain the effectiveness of the soundproofing. Consider the environmental impact of the soundproofing materials. Choose materials that are made from sustainable or recycled materials whenever possible. Dispose of any waste materials properly. Consider the long-term cost-effectiveness of the soundproofing solution. While some materials may have a higher upfront cost, they may provide better performance or last longer, resulting in lower overall costs in the long run. Evaluate the total cost of ownership when making a decision. Remember that soundproofing is just one aspect of creating a comfortable and functional space. Consider other factors such as lighting, ventilation, and temperature control to create a well-rounded environment. Consult with a qualified professional for customized advice and solutions. A professional can assess the specific needs of the space and recommend the most effective soundproofing materials and installation techniques. They can also help with any potential challenges or concerns that may arise during the installation process.